have a few questions for you. And in the meantime, if anyone gets more questions in their head, please just type them and I'll read them when we get there. So the first question came up. It was, how do you get past the fear of success because of expectations? Souad, can you hear me?
Now I can. For some reason, it got stuck.
Okay. All right. So the first question was, how do you get past the fear of success because of expectations?
How do I get, I'm sorry, you're cutting off a little bit more. So how do I get over the fear of success?
Yeah. How do you get past the fear of success because of expectations?
If you want to be successful, you won't mind the expectations. It's as simple as that. So when I first joined Tabrid, it was 3 years ago, young and naive. I didn't know what I was getting myself into. And I'm like, utilities? Humbug. It's fine. It's something easy that I can do, and I'm not afraid, and I can get the job done. Because it's part of what I want to become. It's part of my 10-year plan, my 5-year plan, etc. So it's part of that bigger picture. And because of it, it fits. That's why I told you at the beginning of the presentation, I'm like, you need to sit down and be honest with yourself. Is this what you want to do? Does this fit your bigger plan? Is this who you want to be known for? If the answer is yes, there's nothing for you to be afraid of. And what I tell everyone who wants to do public speaking is that if you're chosen to speak about a subject, you need to understand that you are the one to talk about the subject. That means you are the knowledgeable one. That means you don't need to be afraid of sharing that knowledge. So don't be afraid of success. Be smart about it. Set the goals right. Again, make them very attainable and very realistic. And it's baby steps. Don't jump into that and just be like, okay, fine, whatever. I'll take this opportunity and that opportunity. No. Don't put too much on your plate. Just evaluate that opportunity for success. If it aligns with your own personal goals, then go for it. If it doesn't, let it go. Just let it go.
Do you think, just a quick follow-up on that, do you think it has something to do with this achievemophobia? So maybe you're not sure if or you are afraid of actually being successful, so you put these things in front of you.
One second, because I for some and I can't really properly hear you. Just give me 1 minute.
Sure.
Always a challenge with our technology, hoping that everyone can keep on board. This gives everyone the opportunity to think of that question for Souad, fire them through, and also take a big stretch. Come on, I can see you guys. Take a big stretch, both sides. All right, Souad's with us. She's
All right. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right, perfect.
Yeah, so I was just asking, what if you have this achievemophobia?
Yes.
And it's real, right? So you will actually put things in front of you so you don't get, you don't become successful. So putting the plans and all that is not going to work because you will stop them.
No, but the thing is, once you realize that this is exactly what you want, everything's out the window. The most important factor of you being successful or you achieving something is you believing in it.
Yeah.
If you don't believe that you want to be, or you want to be the best at what you do, or you want to be known for for doing this kind of thing, or be famous for that, then you'll never be able to go past the planning stage. You'll always be the person in the background helping everyone else shine, and you'll be like, no, I'll just work, and I don't need to be known, etc. But as soon as you know and identify that this is exactly what I want, and this is how I want people to know me for, no amount of planning will ever stop you.
Yeah. So there is a step beforehand, is you knowing what you want. Okay.
Well,
Next
definitely.
question.
I'm sorry, just to add to that.
Yeah.
A lot of things in life, not just procrastination, everything in life, it has to start with you. It must start with you. Whether was it being in a loving relationship, being a loving brother, sister, friend, being successful, being a role model, all of these start with you. If you don't believe that you can actually provide that, then how in the world do you expect to be known for that? So if you don't believe it within you that you can be the best at this specific task or role, you'll never get there. And that's where the fear starts coming, because you always question yourself because you don't even believe that you're good enough for it.
Yeah. Right. All right. Next question. How do you know when you're getting stuck and need to look at a different part of the puzzle, or when you need to stay persistent and follow through?
So this is a tough question, to be very honest. A lot of times we kind of understand the idea of being resilient and persistent with, you just need to walk away. And I was in a very story time. I was in a very, very toxic workplace, but it was me doing exactly what I love to do, but the environment was unbearable. But if you made it there, you can make it anywhere in the world. So, and my thought was, no, I can change this society, I can change this environment, I can do it. And I got stuck there for 5 years because I was like, no, I can make a difference, not realizing that it was not just my small circle that was toxic, it was the entire organization that was toxic. So it's something above and beyond my power. And then at the 5th year, and I was like, and I got sick. So I'm a cancer survivor, and I got sick because I was always stressed. I was always under a lot of pressure, and I was depressed and sad and everything, and that eats up in you. And then I realized when the last cancer scare, I'm like, wait a second, what in the world am I doing to myself? And that's when I realized that I need to walk away. So you need to be your own thermostat. You need to know when is too much. And in addition to that, if it's something that you really want, that you desperately need in your picture, walking away does not mean that you're just abandoning that piece of puzzle. It just means you're putting it on pause. That's another thing that you need to put in your brain, that if you walk away right now from this project does not mean it's gone forever. It means you'll revisit it later. It's fine, but you need to be okay with walking away for a little bit, taking a break, having a thought, and then coming back to kind of put in all that knowledge that you've learned while you're away.
I had to type it. This is beautiful. So next question. What if you hit snooze on your fake deadline? What do you do with us
Oh my
snoozers?
God. Oh my God. So the snooze button is my enemy when I want to wake up in the morning, because I'm like, no, it's just 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes. And then I wake up 3 hours later and I was like, oh my God. And then I just completely die. When it comes to projects, at the beginning, I used to snooze, but then I'm like, no, because I kind of like missed a couple of things. I'm like, no, that's it. I need to have self-restraint and not snooze that button. One trick that I used to do is I used to create another alarm right after that says, get your A, up B, and get the job done. When I see that, I'm like, all right, this woman scares me. I get myself up and actually get the job done. So I don't only intimidate people, I intimidate myself as well. And it works really, really well. So, yes.
I love that. Perfect. All right. So a question, when you mentioned don't multitask, the question is, as a leader, do you just assign one task at a time? Do you promote unitasking with a team?
One task at a time. What is this? Kindergarten? Of course not. We do have I mean, when I'm saying multitasking does not mean don't take more than one project at a time. No, I mean, when you're or when you're actually doing a task, don't be on your phone doing your task and watching television and whatnot. Don't multitask. If you need this task done, restrict yourself in 15 to 30 minutes, get it done, and then do whatever else you want. For example, if I'm just checking my emails, I love to have a show in the background. I need noise for me to kind of focus. Very weird, but it works. So I need noise in the background for me to kind of focus on checking emails, just reading them through. If I'm on leave or whatever, I come back for like 60,000 emails, so I have to go through them. So that works for me. That for me is multitasking, but I'm not doing something very important. But when it comes to when it's a specific task that you need to finish, don't multitask. Does not work.
So the next question actually fits with this 86 emails you said, or was it 8,600? I forgot. Sometimes procrastination is a protest at having to do something that seems pointless or just piles on an already heavy workload. How do you approach such a challenge?
I'm sorry, can you just repeat that again? Just raise your voice a little bit on that.
Yes. So sometimes procrastination is protest at having to do something that seems pointless or just piles on an already heavy workload. How do you approach such a challenge?
So I did tell you guys at the beginning that it's either rebellion or the lack of interest, and it is part of that. So unfortunately, when you are an employee, there are so many things that you have to do that you are so not interested in doing. And that's where you need to kind of revisit, why am I here? Why am I doing this job? Do I need the money at the end of the month? Find what motivates you to actually get the job done and do it. But if the majority of your job is you trying to convince yourself you need that paycheck, go find a new job, because that's not supposed to be the norm. The norm is supposed to be you're excited, you want to wake up, you want to get this thing done, etc. That's the normal. And then you get those ad hocs. Oh God, I need to do this billing, Madrishu. Hello, Clarissa's friend. So you need to do things, blah blah, etc. That's the ad hocs. But the actual thing needs to be motivated. This is something that you love doing.
Yeah, absolutely. So, okay, next one. What would you advise students on procrastination, and also in general about work life?
Good luck. No, so as a student, what do I advise you on procrastination? James can tell you that I was the queen of procrastination. I used to leave everything till the last minute. Another professor who suffered with me was David Burns. He taught me video production, and that man, oh my God, he used to give us a full week to create short videos. And I used to go out, have fun, etc. On the day of editing, which was the last day to submit your video, I'm like, all right, so what do I have around the house that I can, like, video shoot or whatever, just get this sorted. And I used to do that. And for some reason, I have a really good eye, and I used to get great grades. I graduated, so David can never change the grades now. So, but what you need to do, basically, first of all, choose, or I hope that you are in a college that you like. So when I first joined Zayed University, I was a lost puppy. I had no clue what I wanted to do. I loved biology. I wanted to be an archaeologist, just saying. Not like Ross, but I wanted to be an archaeologist. I loved history. I loved, digging up stuff, and it was something I'm very interested in. Then I was like, you know what? No, I'll have to leave my family. I have to travel, because let's be realistic. nothing much in the desert to go find. Then I was like, you know what? Let's do biology. I'm a fanatic when it comes to science and the study of genes, etc. And then I realized that I'll be in a lab for the rest of my life. I'm like, yeah, no, that's not gonna happen because I will go crazy. So I went into Souad University not knowing at all what I wanted to do. And then we have James Pikeway and Jack Hillwig, who walked into the auditorium to the song We Will Rock You, clapping their hands over their heads and getting us all amped up about what they're going to say. And the one sentence, I don't think that I've ever told James this, but the one sentence in my head that crossed, I was like, you know what? If you can rock me about comms, I'm in. And that was it. And that was completely it. And we were only 6 or 8 girls in the College of Communications. And we were the guinea pigs. Yeah, and we were the guinea pigs. Today, you can't find a seat in the communications college because it's so, packed with students, which is amazing. It tells you something. So you need to find, first of all, the college that you want to be part of, the thing that you really want to study. We started the radio, we started the newsletter, we did a lot of things from scratch, and it was a lot of work. I'm not gonna lie, it was a lot of work, but we did it because we loved to do it. And that helped with us actually meeting those deadlines, because our product meant that I got a full grade. So when I did design, I had to lay out the actual newsletter, and it was fun for me. When I did photography, it was because of that newsletter. Again, it was fun for me. The radio show. I don't know if James, you remember, because I love writing. Peter, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, or Pete, he got me into a writing competition, and I won first prize for the shortest story in the world. It's a worldwide competition, and I wrote about my father. And because I used to love what I studied, it helped me plan accordingly. That's your responsibility. Number 2, you need to find a mentor in your college or in your university that would be there to motivate you when you don't have that spark in you, when you're close to kind of like ending yourself because you messed up on a project. Story time. I remember for my script writing class, we had 20 weeks to write a full script. It was David Burns. We had 20 weeks to write a script. I wrote this unbelievable script. It was about 7 people, won an award. So it was 7 people in the 7 Emirates. Each one of them are connected to one another, and they all meet at the end. And it was called On the Line. It's kind of explaining how we're all connected to each other. It's the philosophy of everyone through 7 people. So I wrote that, and I was so proud of it. I was so happy about it. I was going to be taken, and the guys in the Higher College of Technology beside us were going to make it a movie. And I was so excited. I'm going to David's office, and I'm showing it to him. And all of a sudden, the blue screen of death, and my laptop completely goes blank, shuts down, and I just sit there, and I think I had a mini stroke looking at my screen with all these gibberish, binary code numbers. And I'm just like looking at him. And I remember David looks at me, he's like, "Don't cry. It's okay." I'm like, "What do you mean don't cry?" I'm going to die. I'm not going to not cry. I'm going to die. But because he was there to support me emotionally, mentally, giving me the space to actually get my shit together, I was able to produce that in 2 weeks, what I wrote in 20. And get a full grade on that course and move forward and realize that, you know what, no, I am a writer. So part of it is you identifying what you like and what you love doing and planning your life accordingly. Second of all, you need to get that mentor. You have to, and you're never too old to have a mentor. You need to get that person that kind of can be your backbone, because we don't really see our problems when we're in the middle of it. We need a third eye. Get that third eye.
I totally agree with you. I'm aware of the time, but I do have 2 questions. So we'll just try to respond to them or give some ideas before people need to go back to work and stop procrastinating and being with us. So the question before last, do you have any tips on long-term goals? For me, It's to begin writing my novel, but feel lack of time because I have a day job. Not sure if this is what's called a starving artist, or do allow age to dictate success, or believe in diving or divine timing. Sorry. So, tips on long term goals.
We go back to self-realization. What do you want? Where do you want to get to? Put that at the end of the line. Then walk backwards. And then put milestones. Talking about books. Story time. So my father passed away on the 12th of January. I was his best friend. I'm daddy's girl. And it was an absolute shocker when he passed away, because he wasn't sick. There was nothing going on. He was a heart patient, but it was not expected for him to pass away. So he did. And the first thing that I thought, I was like, you know what? I need to share this with the world. What did I do? I put a plan to write my feelings in a book. And I started. And what I did was I segregated time in my schedule every day, put aside an hour for me to write as many pages as I can in that hour. Doesn't matter if I'm on a flow, whatever. I just sit there, think about it, write for an hour, and then walk out. And that's how I got myself to kind of get and keep myself on that track. But the first thing was, my main goal of that was, I need to share this with the world. I need to tell people that it's okay for people to pass away. It's okay to lose loved ones. It's what you do after that matters. What did you learn? So the idea of the book is actually talking about the 4 days of the funeral. And every moment in these 4 days, I remembered a story that my dad taught me something. And I realized that is the bigger purpose. So find that bigger purpose, teaching people what my dad taught me. And that's something that I wrote on Twitter. Advice from my father. So I put that there, and then kind of telling them about the entire feeling. And it is kind of nice for someone to read and be like, oh wait, I felt that, and then create that connection. Put that goal, walk backwards, put that in your planner. There's no excuse for you to say that I don't have time. We do have time. You have 24 hours a day. You don't need to sleep more than 5 or 6. So
No.
utilize your entire schedule. Put that in. I'm a panda. I love sleeping. Believe me, I love sleeping. But I work all the time, and I believe, I don't know if Steve is still here or not, but his team can vouch for me. I have some of his team members come and ask me, when in the world do you sleep? I do sleep. But when it comes to my job and when it comes to my tasks, I don't care. I'll schedule everything during the entire day.
Awesome. I want to add a couple of tips to what you just said. A book that recently came out by Seth Godin. It's called The Practice. It is just that, what you just explained, like how to put in the daily work to get your creative work out. No excuses, no time off, and all that. And the other tip is, you don't need to actually type it. You could just record it, and you can find a scriber, the auto scribes, right? And then it immediately writes everything down. You need to get it out of your head, and then you can edit it later or give it to someone else to edit it. So you can get this done. The last question: what if you can only find the motivation to do something when you're under pressure?
There was a slide that I said, you're just lying to yourself. This is BS. There's nothing called you can only do well under pressure. But if that is the case, and you're an adrenaline junkie, give yourself fake deadlines. Restrict yourself to 15 minutes to finish a job, and that's how you'll actually get your job done. But don't convince yourself that that's the only way you can get your job done. Again, I cannot stress this enough. It all starts with you. You need to convince yourself that you can do something or not do something. How did I get out of depression? I had to convince myself that this will not control me. This will not do this. This will not end my life. This will not take me into this dark rabbit hole. I will not let this happen. Me, myself. No one else is responsible for what you do. No one else is responsible for getting you out of bed. You need to find that in your heart to actually get yourself sorted and move forward. So don't convince yourself that that's the reason, because it's not true.
Yeah, so it could be fake deadlines and also could be fake panic. I
Yeah.
remember once I had to write a very important email and I was procrastinating. Then I told myself I cannot go to the bathroom if I don't write it, and I was in so much pain for so long. And then I said, okay, I'll just sit and write it, and I wrote it, and then I was able to go. I know it's small and simple, but
But it
that's under
works.
pressure. It worked.
It works.
That
It
was
works.
pressure.
Yeah, it works. Whatever makes you sleep at night and gets you the job done, it works. Do it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you so much, Saad, and thank you everyone for staying with us.